What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? We are back again with another Sister Wives video. But hey, before we get into it, let's start off by giving a big massive shout out to every single person that is a member of the channel, that is a member of Patreon, and that is a subscriber as we continue to grow. Now, of course, today we are catching up with episode 2 of season 17. So hey, without no further ado, let's get into it.
Best efforts to follow all the CDC guidelines. My boys are outside of the home for work and stuff, so Garrison ended up getting COVID. And as much as we tried to contain that and quarantine him, the rest of us myself and then Savannah, all got COVID. I feel pretty good. I feel like I have just a bad cold, a little bit of a cough, some achy, I'm tired. Each day would go and I'd feel like, is this the worst day or is it going to get worse? I felt like I had a super achy flu for about 4 or 5 days. KODY is following all these extra rules beyond what the CDC recommends. Thank goodness he wasn't here. He didn't get it. It didn't transfer to the rest of the family, and we are fine.
So by containing each household, I think we were successful in keeping it from spreading to all the other households. Now the big question is what kind of immunity we've got? What do we do now? So the kids are in the house all the time because they're not going to school. I sometimes need a place, a private. Oh, so Christine has left for Utah. And he's going to go see McKelty again, and she was just in McKelty's, I think, 2 weeks ago. Just before Christine took off for Utah this trip, I went over and talked to her about finding my boxes, boxes of my stuff in the garage. So we had a long talk about what's going on in our lives.
I think we both just need to be free of each other. I'm just ready to be free. It was bad before COVID. It's been 10, 12 years of bad.
I'm not in a good place about it right now. I'm shocked, and I'm angry. Since then, I've been just going through the drama in my head. The things done wrong, what could have been, the blame, the refusal in my own head to want to take any accountability for what has happened.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are witnessing KODY Brown actually reflecting on the potential of taking self-accountability. I mean, this is a day that a lot of us wasn't too sure if we'd ever see, but hey, it's here. So let's continue.
I struggled to take her seriously about things in the past. And I'm still like wondering, well, is this really real? Is she going to change her mind? Christine and I went through kind of a whole discussion recently about how I'm never there. Well, I feel like it's kind of a tit for tat, to be honest with you. She was saying, you're never here. And I'm like going, you're always traveling during COVID. You're always doing stuff that makes it so I can't be here. And she says, you've never been here before.
Even though I asked him to not sleep here anymore, he can still hang out with the girls and everything. But he's not here anymore than he was before. He's not here any less. It's the same. Truly's not even noticed it. It's weird when wives are like, where are you? What are you doing? And I'm like, he's going. KODY is somebody who keeps himself very, very busy. Even back in Vegas, everybody was still complaining about time. From the first time that I even met KODY, he has always been like high energy and everywhere. Sometimes I would wish that he would just be a little bit more focused and centered, and then sometimes I realize, this is just who he is. Different people think that KODY's not being fair with his time, and he really actually is. They're just not tracking it because they're struggling. And it's really easy to sit there and think of the lack when you're struggling. I couldn't live in his world, for sure. He's at my house. He doesn't really come home till about 6 p.m. I know he ends up at Robyn's a lot to help with the little kids, but I really am not sure where he is. KODY and I have a lot going on during the day. That's why I have a nanny, so that I can have her help me instead of trying to ask KODY to, help with the kids. It's not really fair of me to ask him to help when he has so many responsibilities and has such a big family.
I literally have Christine telling me that the kids don't think I want to be around them. I stayed home all year. I haven't done anything. I didn't do my business things. I didn't see my friends. I didn't travel with any of them. And yet, Christine's lifestyle hasn't really been infringed upon, to be honest with you, by COVID.
It's hard to see just such a contrast with KODY, how he is at Robyn's house versus how he is at my house. He's just disengaged at my house. My kids and I hike all the time. We go kayaking all the time. KODY came hiking with us once, and he brought Robyn's kids because he was babysitting them.
It's normal for me to babysit my kids. I've been working all my life. I was raised on a ranch. We were always busy. The idea of going and kayaking or hiking and stuff like that is not something I really do a lot of with anybody. I'm good at watching my kids, but I almost never do it. It's easier for me to pay somebody $20 an hour than to lose $200 an hour with the business that I have at hand.
Isabel just said, Gwen and I both talk about how
When you think you're that a little bit closer to KODY finding or recognizing what self-accountability is, but then it just never really gets to that pinnacle moment of him actually having that moment. So annoying. I mean, listen, at the end of the day, you can't be. So he doesn't like doing what the kids wanted to do, but yet he wanted to bring other kids. Oh, someone like KODY, someone that definitely isn't built for this type of lifestyle, and how he's lasted for so long, how they've all lasted for so long together, That one baffles me. Boy. It's interesting because I didn't think that this was going to be so far back. 'Cause I mean, this is pretty much continued where season 16 finished in a nutshell. Which is quite interesting. But anyway, well, let's continue.
How we see yours and Dad's relationship is really broken. And to see him with other wives, she goes, I can't imagine what that's like for you. And we don't want to see that either. You know, this isn't a new complaint, you know, that Kody favors me. They kind of make assumptions about how he is at my home. I'm not getting some preferential treatment, even though that's what they think. Plural marriage is hard for me, too.
The good news is, you know, that Savannah is out of the woods. She's over her COVID. And so somewhere between 10 and 15 days, I'm not sure, 10 or 14 days, I'm not positive with 10 or 20 days. I got to get it straight, but I'm thinking I'm going to be able to go over to Janelle's house in just a couple of weeks and be able to stay there again. Savannah's better, Janelle's better, Gabe and Garrison's been better for a week. I still feel like we all need to be careful, but at least now I'm able to go over to Janelle's house without worrying about getting COVID and bringing it over to anybody else, at least for a while. As I understand it, you know, best I know, this is what Janelle is telling me, is that she can't get it now for 90 days. So we started making plans about traveling, and then I realized after we made these plans,
We don't know yet if that's like some sort of a safety situation where like he can't get it.
I'm frustrated by it. It's just life we live, though. And now we're realizing more than ever before during COVID how much one person's actions can affect the rest of the family. So I'm not happy about it, but this is what's going on.
Yes, Kody's actions are in fact, hurting the whole family. It's true.
Kody, man, the kind of guy that would just be like, yeah, so basically I noticed what the problem is, and I know what the problem is, but I'm not going to actually fix the problem because, well, the problem is actually me. And you see, I'm just not allowed to be the problem. And that is one of the biggest issues that I have at hand here. Well, we all have at hand with Kody, you know. He's someone that can tell us exactly what pretty much we've just heard the wives say. He'll just say it back, say it as if he's on the verge of understanding it, as if he's on the verge to actually make a difference. And then we continue waiting for nothing. Like I said before, how they've all made it as far as they have is just bizarre.
Been at my house a lot just by default because of the decisions that other wives are making. I love Kody dearly, but this is not what I chose. His other relationships are stressing him out so much that it's not like it's really fun to have him around that much anyway. He's an angry man right now. He's really struggling, and he's really struggling with kind of what's going on. What's going on with him and Christine? I've never seen him like this before. It's like it's including the kids, you know? And that's getting worse for him, and he's having a very hard time. I don't think everybody's quite understanding what's going on here. I miss my husband. Because he's not himself.
Oh, isn't that sweet? Robyn being the only one to actually really care about Kody's well-being. Oh, she misses her man. She misses her lover. I mean, none of the other wives really give a damn about what he's going through his own here. But then again, at the same time, it makes sense why obviously he's so close to her. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, they do both share that similar trait in just what's the word I'm looking for here? They share the same trait in terms of always making it more about themselves than it is about anyone else. And because these two are kind of the same person, they gravitate each other more because they're more than happy to protect each other in that format. But it's never necessarily a case of, look at it this way, Christine has walked away for a reason. Okay, Kody matters as well. His well-being matters as well. Don't get it twisted. But Christine has walked away because of Kody's actions. So if Kody has now lost a wife, what needs to be analyzed here by Robyn and other wives is, okay, well, Christine's left. Damn. What the hell did he do for her to leave? Like, we're not supposed to leave. We're supposed to be together forever, right? She's left. Does that mean that maybe he's now doing something that, or has been doing something, or you know what I mean? Not all. But Kody is, no. Forget Kody. Kody is someone that at this moment in time, he needs to learn to pick himself up because, you see, he's the one that's not holding himself accountable. I don't know how you can pick up someone that isn't able to hold himself accountable. Let me explain that. If someone's able to hold themselves accountable and then feel really bad for their actions, you can obviously pick them up and support them, say, listen, at least you know what you've done wrong, we can do better. But if you're dealing with someone that has not held themselves accountable and they just walk around feeling sorry for themselves, well then, what's there to pick up? to pick up what they already are. Someone who's selfish, someone who can't hold themselves accountable. There's nothing to pick up in that sense, is there? I hope that makes sense. But anyway, we continue.
Anytime I try to talk to him, I get the anger, thrown at me, and I have to say, hey, whoa, I'm not, I'm not who you're mad at, I have tried to speak with Sister Wives. I've tried to talk to KODY, but, it's just nobody's willing. I'm starting to feel just really helpless.
She's got this deer in the headlights look like, get away from me. Just let me go.
I think what's healthy for us and what's healthy for our family is me leaving. I didn't know.
I'm on the edge of losing my and I'm afraid she's on the edge of losing her. She is the doorway, the passage for me to get to my children.
I gotta admit, there's been a lot of introspection I've had on this about how we're not supposed to break up. I'm just fight for it.
Maybe it's okay for me to move on.
It's a real paradigm shift for me, and I'm sitting here wondering if I'm making a mistake.
Making a mistake in how? What do you mean?
Of leaving.
Like you feel like you're making a mistake and letting me go.
I'm worrying that I'm making a mistake. Is this going to damage our children?
I've been in this different paradigm, I think, for a very long time with the anticipation or the expectation that there would finally be a breaking point and we'd get counseling. For Christine, it's been finally there was a breaking point and she's out.
It's been months since the conversation about no intimacy in our marriage. If he was interested in therapy, he could have said something.
Like, she's got this deer in the headlights look like, get away from me.
I never thought that I would be in a situation like this. I thought we'd be together forever.
When you finally decided, though, did you feel relief?
Yes. I know I look back and I wish that I would have left in Vegas and never come here.
I've had 3 wives threaten me to leave me, on and off, our entire marriages. The threat to leave is always out there.
I had chosen to live plural marriage when I was really young, and I just imagined I would always live in plural marriage. So even when things were hard, I just thought, well, it can be hard. Plural marriage can be hard. I just thought that it was okay to be sad. And I think I was a lot sadder than I thought, but I tried to be happy as much as possible, and certainly I still found joy in things. Plural marriage is tough.
Struggled for a very long time. I feel like it's more of an inevitability coming instead of a let's try to work this out.
Personally, I look at plural marriage like any other marriage. If the parties involved aren't interested or willing to do it, there's really not a whole lot else that can be done. Plural marriage is very hard. That's why you can't get lazy in it. You have to choose it every day. You have to want everyone in the family to be happy as much as you want yourself to be happy. It's the only way to do it successfully, in my opinion.
I want to apologize for being so...
So I want to know where those actions were actually taken. Because at the end of the day, this plural relationship is not a marriage, sorry. It's not... There's no team behind it, There's no support behind it. There's no help behind it. It's pretty much at this point, every woman for herself. Because the role just bloody spread out at this point, When I say spread out, what I mean is it's like KODY has to deal with them one by one. Which obviously, how can I explain it? If we go back to season 1, they were all together, they knew how to deal with each other. Well, at least the 3 wives did. Robyn was just coming in. Since then, we've seen even the connection that the 3 original wives had. It's still there, but we've seen like their relationship towards KODY kind of fade more and more and more away, and their own support in terms of staying with KODY is also faded away more and more and more and more. And of course, these were cracks already in the relationship before the show started, because I believe before the show started, Janelle had already even left the family once and then came back another time. I'm sure that's before. It could have been after. And then we're looking at Meri, obviously, with the whole, the whole online thing that was, some people say it's true, some people say that she did it on purpose just to get attention. We'll never really know. But it's just like, they say all these things, but every single wife has a role here. Well, I think, to be honest, if you're looking at Christine and Janelle, were the only ones that really, I guess, stuck in the relationship and never really looked to do elsewhere from KODY, really and truly, because Janelle actually left. Meri potentially kind of like busy, was talking to someone else, allegedly. You know what I mean? So nothing can be fixed at this point, and that is it. I need to go. Anyway, let's just.
And I just said, Christine, what do you want? And you said, I just want to be free. And I'm sorry I was so angry.
Thank you. It's very sweet.
I'm sitting here going, I've had to do a lot of introspection.
I'm really grateful that he's just being real and not mad and not angry.
It feels like just this major injustice that is being done to me and it galls me.
I need to get to a place where I can rejoice about your happiness and your freedom.
Thank you. That's like the sweetest thing that you've ever said, by the way.
I just want to thank him for trying to support me. Gosh, that's the sweetest thing he said to me in years.
I think what's healthy for us and what's healthy for our family is me leaving. Because it's not working, and it might just be me.
I've only said it a couple times. If you're not happy here, you can leave. I didn't expect that you're not happy here would mean you're going to leave.
I didn't know that being alone and not being married would feel okay.
What are you wearing for surgery? I'm wearing just sweatpants and a dad's hoodie.
Isabel and I went to her surgery, just the two of us. The doctors were telling Isabel that your daddy's going to be here soon. And I'm like, he's not coming. And they were like, what? And then I realized, actually, I can do this by myself. And I'm fine.
Here's the thing. The past few
That's actually tragic, to be fair, that he wasn't there. Actually, really tragic. You know what, though? One of the biggest issues that I'm having, though, with episode 1, episode 2 is that it is pretty much a repeat. Both episodes are pretty much identical, you know what I mean? And it's like, I'm gonna let it play a bit more because it starts to become repetitive on my side, do you know what I mean? But because to be fair, what I was gonna say that despite the fact that the wives should be together and be a team of some kind or some sort of support system in each other, of course, Kody, at the other hand, doesn't mean that he should be able to get away with X, Y, Z. He should also be pulling his weight properly. But this guy can't fathom the fact that Christine's leaving because of himself. He wants Christine to leave because of the wives as well.
Know that you don't sleep here. To her, it's no different than before.
I haven't told Truly anything. And she has friends whose parents have gone through divorces, and she talks about how it's the worst thing in the world. So I don't want her to know until we absolutely have to tell her.
She made this decision without me, without checking with me. There was no fair representation of Kody in this relationship.
It's been months since Kody said he wasn't interested in intimate, in any way, marriage with me. I can't keep waiting for him to want to be an involved husband. I can't keep waiting for him to be a hands-on dad. It's not working. We've been waiting for each other for 10, 12 years now.
I just need to let it go. I don't know why it's such a struggle. It's curling my toes. I need some grief counseling or something. I don't know what's going on here with my attachment. I can't let go. This is like really literally the backfire purpose for 30 years here with this family, with making a safe and healthy and functional environment for wives and children. And I'm struggling here because I don't know what it looks like when she shatters this reality for me and moves on.
We're just friends, Kody. We're just going to be good friends.
I'm just trying to
Sorry.
be big about this.
I'm really not in a mindset of being friends. I'm married to two divorced women. I know what their opinion is of that guy. Both Janelle and Robyn were married before I married them. They don't have good relationships with their exes. I don't want to have that happen here. I don't want to go around the country telling people I'm a bad person.
It doesn't need to be complicated if you've made the decision.
Well, it's already complicated because it's not just you and I.
How is it complicated?
I don't know what's complicated about it. It's like she's chosen to leave. Okay, goodbye.
Are you fine with me moving away to Utah?
Not really. Where do you think you're going to move to?
Salt Lake area.
See, that's 8 hours away.
It is.
That's sort of unrealistic for us with the situation with our kids. Do you have to move that far?
Yes.
So St. George isn't
Gross. I would never move to St. George.
I'm disgusted by this idea that she's moving and she's going to take Truly and move to Utah. Truly's my child. I don't want to push her into...
Kody remembers that he has a child? I mean, most of the time I believe that he forgets he's got children in general, to be honest with you. The way this guy walks around moving mad. To be fair with you, most of them I think that Robyn's kids are the only kids that he remembers. It's kind of funny because, you know, crazy because he's got a lot of biological children, but yeah, it feels like as if he's handing more to the children that are not biological children. Which, listen, end of the day, you're not supposed to favor one over the other, right? It is what it is, right? But obviously, your biological ones, they obviously want to feel as equal as anybody else, not making others. You know what I mean? It's just like there's no balance then, is there? Or am I missing something?
Something crazy. Men don't win in the divorce world. I've done my research.
Would we be breaking up if you didn't need to go to Utah?
I don't know, but I don't think that we would last. I don't think we would last.
What I'm looking for is a place to envelop Truly in family. I can take her to a better support system where she's surrounded by love. Whereas here, to be honest, most of the time it's me. Right now, Truly doesn't understand at all. She doesn't see what Gwendolyn and Isabel and have seen for years. That he's just somewhere else, and he just prefers to be somewhere else. I would rather take her away from this situation before she clues in.
Because there's a community that truly has here. She just doesn't have access to it because you're choosing to travel and Kelty and Tony are quarantining.
I don't think we've had a real true community here in Flagstaff. When we first moved to Flagstaff, I was very shocked at how much the cohesiveness of the family and the unity of the family was really struggling. I don't recognize my family. I think our family's been dysfunctional for a long time.
When our older kids were younger, we needed each other more. It's really just been interesting.
But I have not been in love.
Oh. And you were my first love. You were my first love. And so you're always going to be a part of my heart. Always. I fell in love with him. And I was in love with him and smitten with him for so long. And I want to remember being in love with him. The conversation with Robyn and Janelle and Meri. Yeah, I'm not looking forward to that one at all. I don't want to burn bridges at the end of this. Some relationships are going to be fine. Some are not going to be fine.
I feel unmanly, so I'm not going to sit and go, hey, somebody's leaving me. I don't want my other wives to see me as weak, so I don't want to talk about it to them.
Janelle knows more than anyone about the struggles that KODY and I are having, but no one knows that I'm actually leaving. So I think the conversations, that one is going to be a hard one. Definitely.
Do you think you should do that without me?
I really need you there the first time.
Really?
Because I would like it to be me leaving is me leaving, but we have talked about it. I know that they're going to be frustrated and mad and hurt and feel betrayed. And what does that mean to be a sister wife then? Am I still a sister wife? And the answer is no. I can't be their sister wife anymore. I can be their friend. And the relationship, like how close I am with Janelle, is going to stay like that. How not very close I am with Robyn and Meri is going to stay like that too.
Part of me wants Christine to admit that she's leaving because of her, not because of me. Like she's been trying to justify her leaving by things I've been doing, not by choices or behaviors that she's had.
All right.
Okay.
Damn, man, it's not justifying. It's called a breakup, bro. She wants to leave. She doesn't want to be with you anymore. Like, what else? She's giving you reasons upon reasons. You keep asking her questions time and time again. There is no justification. It's literally just trying to get you to understand your fixed goal. But the problem is that you want to have the last word. Christine kind of wants to have the last word too, which is why you're still both here having this conversation back and forth when the relationship is over. God, come on now.
So let's tell the wives.
That's about as much as I can handle.
I think so too. Let's tell the wives.
Okay.
Do this, because I want to be honest with them really badly. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to have to sit down with them and have a discussion.
I realize I'm still in a state of denial. Because she's leaving, I want to put it all on her. She's leaving. You know, why aren't we working this out? And I'm in a place where I don't know what to say.
You know, I've tried to talk to Gabe and Garrett.
He's mad at me that I'm not coming around, and he basically just tried to cut a relationship. I love you, Dad, but this is goodbye forever.
Moved to North Carolina. She was just accepted to one of the colleges there. So she really is moving. Oh my gosh. I'm really excited for Isabel. Whether she knows it or not, she needs a break from me. She's been around me enough, and it tends to be kind of heavy around me with everything happening with KODY and I. So, and Isabel's been there from the beginning. So she needs to get away from me. She needs to live her own life and not live mine anymore. I don't know how this works. You're doing great. Now this is connecting to audio and can't. Hello, baby. You look so cute. Can you hear me? Yeah. We have to call you without Caleb, but leave town. I get it. We're going to touch base with Maddie to make sure that she's on board 100% before we talk to KODY. Just because I feel like it's a loose end, I want to tie it up. But we'll reconfirm with Maddie again just after we talk to KODY. Isabel has something exciting. I just want to let you know that I got into Pitt, and I for sure am moving to North Carolina. Woo! For sure. I'm so excited. For sure. It's the community college that Isabel's going to be attending. Maddie and Caleb know that Isabel wants to move in with them, but it's not like it's been 100% yet. Now that Isabel was accepted in the community college where Maddie goes to school, isn't that cute? It's going to be an easier transition into adulting for sure.
Yeah, I'm so excited. I'm going to have to talk to Caleb because Caleb has been like, Isabel, when Isabel comes, and I was like, babe, I don't know if she's coming for sure yet.
Caleb really has always wanted Isabel to live with them or close to them. When they lived in Vegas with Janelle, they got really close. So Caleb and Isabel really close, and Maddie, she really looks up to him. She thinks that he's an amazing dad and loves to spend time with him. With Maddie, it's just exciting. I'm always going to be so grateful to Maddie and Caleb. When I decided that I needed to leave KODY, I knew I wanted to talk to Maddie as one of the first people because I wanted to make sure I would still be involved in her kids' life. And she just said, you're always going to be a grandma to my kids, always, no matter what.
If a wife leaves, I've seen everything happen. Sometimes they're so disgruntled and so done, they don't get along with their sister wives, they leave, they don't want to see anybody ever again. I've also seen situations where they didn't want to be married to the husband anymore, but they still want to be friends and hang out with their sister wives, and they do. It's all kinds of things that can happen.
I've seen families break up. Not everybody will stay in touch with each other. Sometimes it's a complete split. It really just depends.
I'm excited. Thank you for welcoming me into your home. I appreciate it. Of course.
So Maddie is 100% agreed that Isabel can move there. So now we'll just talk to KODY, let her know. Isabel's so insanely excited about all of it. She's just so excited.
COVID, the protocols that we've been trying to implement have been taking a toll on the family relationships. The fact is, in this environment, I'm just trying to keep my children, especially my small children, from getting COVID.
Okay, I just got off the phone with Garrison. Oh my goodness. Stupid stuff. He's like blaming me for all the COVID stuff going on in our family. This has gone too long.
Garrison, who I asked to move out of the house probably 6 months ago, went and finally bought himself a trailer to move in to so that he could be out of the house, okay, so he could continue his social life.
Garrison is my fourth son. He is now back living with me in Flagstaff. He and Cody really butt heads over the CDC guidelines, Cody's guidelines, and whether even Garrison's being safe at all. He now has a trailer that he's going to park to the side of my rental house, and he's going to fix it up and live in that while he finishes the saving for his house for a couple months.
The trailer has got too much work to be done on it. Garrison doesn't move out. He gets COVID. He gives it to all of Janelle's kids, Garrison's girlfriend, and Gabriel's girlfriend. So Garrison gives it to his girlfriend. And then he's mad at me that I'm not coming around, and he basically just tried to cut a relationship. I love you, Dad, but this is goodbye forever. I mean, like, literally, he's a grown-ass man. He can move out of the house. Garrison's like, Dad, you're being a hypocrite. You're not coming around. And I about lost my man. I'm telling you, he's calling me a hypocrite when he's the one that can't be an adult and go get a place.
I mean, I've tried to talk to Gabe and Garrison and Janelle. I've tried to talk to them, interact and communicate with them, say, hey, please will you figure this out with Cody or your dad? And I've been shut down.
Some family members are acting like it doesn't really matter. Like, it's real. And those people who don't think it's real just are being stupid about it, okay?
I've never told Cody that I think it's fake.
COVID is real. I had it. I had COVID. It's real. Garrison is military, so he's actually had vaccinations already. Cody still has a great fear that we're somehow going to transmit to him. I don't know. I hope things get back to normal.
Garrison calls me up with his narcissistic attitude and goes, this is your fault, and I'm never going to be around you again.
He's telling his dad, I'm done. I'm done with you. Because I don't like how I think my mom is being treated, how we're being treated at this house.
Janelle's kids have been frustrated with him for years because of the way that he's treated Janelle for years. Janelle's fine with her relationship with Cody. She said that it's everything she needs it to be, everything she needs it to be. Over and over and over, she says that. Her kids feel different.
So I just called Janelle and said, I need Gabriel, and I need Garrison to both move out.
This is the most hilarious thing to me. He's threatened this before. I'm like, dude, you're not even on the lease. I'm on the lease.
Because it's like they're blaming me for having rules.
Like this isn't even like an episode. There's no story. It's just like it's just a snooze fest. It's just a complaint after complaint after complaint. Like are we actually gonna get some sort of storyline going or whatnot? Like 2 episodes in, and all I've heard is literally people sit down and freaking go at it back and forth. No development. It's bad enough I'm already tired, but this right here, oh god. Oh, I feel like I'm gonna have a nap after this, man, because this is taking the mick. But anyway, let's go, man.
Rules about COVID. This is like literally the backfiring of all my COVID rules right in my face.
So for my boys, there's so much more going on than just this fight over whether whose COVID rules should be followed, Cody's or the CDC, or if they're doing the right thing. They have for a long time perceived that Cody's focus, his time, everything was spent the majority at Robyn's house, even when he lived in Vegas. But they're very frustrated. They feel like there's been a real preference for Robyn. And so this thing with COVID now, where he's now at her house because she's willing to follow his rules, they are a little bit suspicious. Cody and I have a good relationship. Like, it's struggling, but like I know what I need from Cody, and I communicate that to him, and he does a pretty good job meeting it. What I have now is adequate. It works for me, but it doesn't look like Robyn's relationship with him.
I know there's a lot of accusations from the boys, about me, and they're false. I just don't have that kind of power over Cody. And if I did, I certainly wouldn't have chosen what we have chose through COVID. I would have made us sit down and find a compromise about how to handle COVID together as a family. That's what I would have done if I had the power that they think I have.
The older kids are like this club. I think it's about their feelings about COVID and the accountability that they're willing to have about it. So Gabriel and Garrison are complaining to Hunter and Madison. Hunter and Madison are kind of colluding. They're basically gossiping about me. It's sort of how the family runs, I guess, is everybody's gossiping about each other.
I feel like I'm watching a documentary. You watch a documentary and they're talking about someone's life. In here, it's like, you know what I mean? Like, everything is just literally, there's no action, there's no storyline, there's no movement, it's just like pictures and flashes, and then it's like, yeah, so, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. Oh, man.
It seems to be that the line is becoming more and more intense. Choose this side, which is Cody, Meri, Robyn, and Robyn's kids, or choose the side that includes all of my children.
My kids aren't part of that group. I don't know. It's a ganging up, defense mechanism. So yeah, I don't know. It's weird.
This argument that Cody's having with many of his kids about his COVID precautions, Mariah is not involved in that.
This whole COVID thing is just boiling out our relationships. It's boiling it out to find out really who we are with each other.
I wish all the kids could see how heartbroken Cody is about the whole thing. He just looks to be drowning to me and has no place to go. And certainly whenever I see him, it just seems like he has such a burden on his shoulders. I just feel bad for the guy, honestly.
It's too bad she got to...
Isabel's still got to tell her dad that she's going to be moving to North Carolina, and she got accepted into the community college there. It's happening.
Hey, baby.
Hey, what you doing?
I just wanted to do that. Sit.
All right, what's going on?
I applied for a PIT in North Carolina, and I got in.
A PIT?
Yeah, Pitt Community College. And then ECU, too. So I'll spend 2 years at Pitt, and then I'll transfer to ECU.
You got into college in North Carolina.
Yeah.
So you got in, and it's not going to be expensive?
No, it's like, not expensive at all.
So that's what you decided you're going to move? Are you going to move in with Maddie and Caleb?
Yeah, I'll be with them.
I hate being excited. I can feel your
Yeah,
excitement.
I'm really excited.
I really thought she'd stay here in Flagstaff. And there's a heavy side of me that's going right now. I'm going, okay, are you running away from our situation.
We need to move her like in August.
Moving you.
Yeah, we're moving her. We gotta drive across country. Yeah. If you want to drive out there with us, you're of course more than welcome. If you want to fly there and help move her in, you're of course more welcome. Whatever you want to do, we can adjust whatever plans. If you can come and you can drive the beast instead.
I hope all the COVID restrictions have lifted. That would be a hard drive if you're having to deal with COVID restrictions. I guess gas stations will still be open.
Nothing. Just wear masks. We'll stop being stupid.
We have no idea what the pandemic will be like in August. I'm unwilling to make any commitments. We're talking wishful thoughts here at this moment. That's exciting. That's awesome.
That sounds great, right? Are you guys good?
I'm excited for you. I hope you're happy about your decision. I miss you.
I miss you too. I think it's really important for Isabel to be around such a happily married couple. Maddie and Caleb are phenomenal. They're amazing together.
It's too bad that you gotta go that far. I'm excited. No, don't you worry about me.
I will. I'm excited. I'll call first.
Truly and I are going to have a transitionary life, and it's going to be a bit up in the air, and I don't know what everything looks like. But Isabel gets to move to security.
All right, cool. I swear. Thanks for telling me.
You're welcome.
I talked to Gwendolyn. I told Gwendolyn, look, things are bad between Dad and I, and I'm leaving Dad. I want to move to Utah in September. Do you want to move with me and go to Utah with me? And she said, no, I'm going to stay here. Flagstaff, you go. So I said, do you feel like I'm abandoning you or anything? She goes, Mom, I want you to be happy.
Congratulations. I'm glad you got in.
I'm excited. I appreciate it.
Woo! Isabel wishes she had a better relationship with her dad. Gwendolyn wishes she had a better relationship with her dad. But overall, I think it's Cody's responsibility to have a good relationship with his kids. I think it's his responsibility, not mine.
100%. I mean, it's always the parents' responsibility to have a good relationship with their kids. You can't expect I'm not a fan of kids being the bigger person in a relationship with their parents. I'm actually getting sick and tired of that. I see so many kids, end up being the parent to their own parents, and I just find that so freaking weird. I mean, don't get me wrong. Obviously, when you get older, you do somewhat become an advisor to your parents, give or take, that you have a knowledge in areas that they don't know. Like, for example, you now know how the modern world works, so you help them with maybe how to use a computer, a laptop, or maybe you kind of update them with the new lingo, the new slang. Why this is what we say now, this is not what we're saying before. Or maybe update them with the fact that, I don't know, like there's a new way to listen to music. It could be so many other things out there, but when it comes to actually, or maybe if you've got a single parent, you can update them on ideas. I don't think you want to, but some people will. Help them on ideas to try and find a new partner. Little things that are, I guess, more electronic than anything else. But when it comes to building a relationship, if it's not the parent making the effort, no way the child should make an effort. Because, I mean, to be fair, I was raised in a situation where I was believed it should have been the father making the effort, right? Because obviously he was in that, right? But I always wanted to make the effort, right? But then obviously, I kind of got off topic. Hold a minute. Hold on a minute. No, hold on a minute. The point I was going to make doesn't actually in line with what I'm about to say. But either way, though, parents should always be the ones to lead, not the child, okay? If there's a broken relationship between the child and the parent has to find a way to lead. But of course, if the parent has made, but of course, if it's a child that's decided to walk away from the parent, well then, at that point, the parent can only wait until the child is ready to come back home, if the child ever comes home. I never. But we continue, yeah.
I feel broken. And Isabel's leaving. And it's a heartbreak to me. But she's leaving under these circumstances that whatever has happened with me and Christine has left her and I with this crap relationship where I'm just trying to reach to her.
It's been hard for me that Cody hasn't been around, but it's been Adam, and he's missed this great opportunity to get to know them better, and it's gone.
So I spent my whole life trying to be the hero for my kids, working hard, doing everything I could to support them, to help them, to be there for them. And now because of this COVID situation, they're trying to make me the villain because of COVID, because of protocols, because I want to protect my children. Next time on Sister Wives.
Today is mine and Cody's anniversary. Cody and I never had a legal marriage. I don't know at what point our marriage is technically over. In my head, Cody's relationship with his kids is more important than anything else. So you wouldn't be able.
Well, we shall wait and see until that following week, eh? We shall wait and see. I mean, listen, like I said before, the first two episodes for me have been very disappointing because they've been a copy and paste of each other. But the first episode, okay, cool, it worked, but doing it again, it's like, But I really hope that we can actually get some context in something, like an actual storyline of, more than what they're showing us and telling us, you know what I mean? But I'm hoping that they filmed it stretched out. They filmed it over the coming months, because obviously I really want to see some of the things that we was reporting on for the last couple of months. Because right now it's just like they've just aired it from where they finished off from. So I hope there's gonna be like a gap where they're like, oh, it's a month later or something like that. You know what I mean? Because I definitely want to see certain things covered that we didn't see. For example, when I believe it was Mary's child, who's now Leon. It is, yeah. He's now Leon. Really wanted to see obviously how that transition goes. At that time, we didn't get to see the reaction from Cody per se. We only got it from the wives. I really want to see what his reaction was to find out that he's got a daughter now that's now trans into a man, and now goes by the name Leon. So I really want to see his reaction to that, the storyline to that, you know what I mean? Because again, it's important that when we do report things that we hear before the show ends, sorry, before the show starts, we then are actually able to see them in the show so we can see how they actually played out, if you know what I mean. But nonetheless, though, thank you so much for your time. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and peace.